What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
Jumping into it, I ate up a little bit of time here, but I did want to get into the main issues of the day here. It's about it's about branding, and we've been talking about branding for an awful lot here in the last couple of shows. And this particular topic, I think, is very, very important. And it's about not marketing your brand. Okay, and that may sound counterintuitive. That's the whole point, Branding is marketing, right? Well, we've already talked about that in a previous show. Marketing our tactics. Brand is how the consumers feel about your organization, your values, your mission. Well, the point here is that there is a pursuit that your brand should be doing of focusing on finding influencers and having an engagement with those influencers out in the digital marketing sphere. Okay, you should not be broadcasting taglines. You should not be broadcasting what you think people should know about your organization without having a type of exchange to your customers. Wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. Well, you need to start thinking of yourself as a person who markets an experience by collecting moments of brand interaction from third-party sources and fostering real relationships with your consumers. What we mean by this is a couple key points. Do you have an engaged network? The simple, most important thing marketers need to do right now is to engage in their brand's network. And you may not even realize you have a network tied to your brand. Can you think about, describe that to me, guys. What is a brand network? Can you think about that?
That's a overbearing question.
It really is. Well,
yeah, it's just your current customer base. I mean,
right.
And your future customer base as well. But your current customer base, kind of threw him a softball there,
a slurve,
a slurve there. You can't control the exact words that people use to describe your brand. No. You can't, but you can certainly influence it, and you can find influencers that can actually interject into that common discourse. Mm-hmm. The network is made up of a number of different consumers that have different type of influence over other consumers.
Right.
Some of them, a good portion of them, have no experience with your brand. Okay, so the first experience that they're really going to trust
is the other person.
Not what you're saying about yourself. In fact, I mean, we as consumers are already kind of hardened to the fact that, okay, you're trying to make a marketing ploy. You got your tagline on a billboard. Yeah, okay, everybody says that you're very innovative. All these things, we are calloused as consumers of marketing to marketing spiel. We can sniff it out. We know what it is as soon as we hear it, smell it, taste it, whatever, But the influencers inside social media, they have such an impact because it's just like that. It's just like what advocacy used to be, or different celebrities, endorsements. Mm-hmm. Those things are trusted, and now the new endorsing factor are your influencers that are out there. So, what we're talking about here is you not only do you have control over your influencers' experience with your brand, but you also have control over whether or not they're equipped with good content, stories, messages, and images to share pertaining to your brand. So if you create your content schedule around not talking about just yourself, but how you can lift up influencers and provide them good information about not just the brand, but what solutions you solve with your brand or with your product, right?
Right.
You're going to give them a much stronger reason to advocate, right? A couple key things about this. You need to work with your current network for valuable coverage. There's a focus on increasing your engagement inside of your current network. A couple points here real quick that I'd recommend. One thing in particular, and you talked about that, Tom, is your existing customer network, right? The people that have already had an experience with your brand. You should set up a once a month newsletter or communication process where you can connect with that network regularly. Email them about new and exclusive brand information. Give them free items from your brand that are a fit with their everyday lives and shareable content. Now, over at DK Media and Marketing Tech Ball, you guys are huge proponents on the newsletter and the email communication.
Yep. Every week.
Every week. You got some gems of information on a regular basis. And see, what happens there is that somebody comes in to the website checking out a particular article. You have more loyalists in your email marketing space than you do regularly of the visitors that are coming through your website, right?
Right.
So you have a very easily to understand opt-in process where they can join your newsletter right there, and you also position it in a way that they know they're going to get benefit from it.
Right.
As opposed to, hey, just join a newsletter. There's a reason why they want to join that newsletter, right?
Yeah.
But you have that user experience that's deeper as soon as they start becoming that loyalist, because now they can see what they're really interested in as opposed to meandering through the website.
Yep. Very true.
The email outreach and surveys, ask your network for their input as well. Not only just make it a regular monthly correspondence, but flip it around and ask your users, your consumers, what their thoughts are about a particular brand issue, or maybe not even the brand issue, but something in that market space, right? So if I have a widget that's solving X, right, what are your consumers concerned about of that solution, that problem that they have? You may actually find some invaluable things that you may not even realize that your brand can also solve.
Right.
It's that openness and that vulnerability of the brand, asking consumers, give us some feedback here. A third point, real quick, is fostering that brand experience. Is a focus on the experience, not a brand mention. What I mean by that is, you should not be looking at how your brand name is trending or how many mentions that you get, because that's very tepid. That's very topical. It doesn't have any type of value to it. But if you can actually move out content and provide a way for people to input around a lifestyle story where your brand's maybe marginally part of that experience dialogue. Right. You have people focused around that topic as opposed to mentioning your company's name on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So people are engaged more as opposed to being seen as shills just lifting up the company name. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you need to, on top of all that, you need to thank and incentivize your network. Reach out to them individually, and that's one of the most important things. You've seen that before. In social media experiences, if the brand actually reaches across that edifice and mentions and talks to a consumer individually and publicly, man, you have a loyalist for life.
Right.
Now, people love that, right?
Yeah. If John Green only would have tweeted me back at the racetrack on Friday.
Oh.
We're going to have to talk to him. All right. Finishing up here, make sure that you are opt-in friendly, that anything that you're asking your consumers, your network to do, that they can do easily. Do not make it difficult. Don't make them jump through so many hoops to actually sign up for a newsletter or opt in for this, that, and the other. Make it very, very easy. All righty. Finishing up here, you know what? There's a lot more of that article that we were talking about here, and that was from HubSpot, I believe.
Convince and Convert.
Oh, I'm sorry. Convince and Convert. That's right. Check it out. It's going to be a fantastic article, and we're going to have all that at edgeoftheweb radio.com. All right, coming up.